gone before.
Boldly taking talk radio where it has never gone before. New vistas, new voices, new views, new visions, new victories. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we're taking public media black.
I'm Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. If your relationship is in trouble, I'm the dude to call. Has your soulmate become your cellmate? Does black love still exist? What are your bedroom turn-offs? Fantasies and fetishes. Financial infidelity. I'm dating a fat person. Are they worth the wait? Trust me, it's gonna be crazy.
How about the heavy stuff?
The child wasn't his, and he still had to pay child support.
It's a very heated topic.
How was that right?
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I just like to kiss. Is there something wrong with that?
Damn.
He told me he had a vasectomy. I'm pregnant.
Betrayal has been committed.
Hit you with a bad touch routine.
How does he maintain his humposity?
He likes it when it pinches my neck.
Why can't you open up, brother?
I'm a karate man. Karate man rules on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses.
Yeah.
How do you rate women so well?
Zoe Williams.
Reason and accountability.
The voice of reason.
Relationship is the greatest thing in life. You cannot live without relationship. You may withdraw from all relationship, finding that relationship is painful. Always living in struggle, conflict, possessing and not possessing, jealous, all that happens. There are those who withdraw from all relationships. But they are related. They cannot possibly escape from any kind of relationship.
Wow. The great Krishnamurti. We are all related. Can't escape. Even if you choose to be single, you are still related to nature. That's a relationship. You're still related to everything. But I have to bring my brother Nazarene X back in. We're trying to pull something out of Nazarene that he refuses. Nazarene does not want to acknowledge Nazarene X, you have returned to the voice of reason. Talk to me, man. Come on. I'm asking about you, brother. Don't blame nobody. Okay?
I'm with you, but if I may, because I'm sensing something. My spider senses are tingling, right? Okay. I'm going to just ask it. It's just me to you. Do you have in your mind a particular woman?
Me?
Yes, sir.
Well, I don't know who you've been dating. I just asked.
Okay, then. Okay, cool. I got you. So that's what I'm saying. It's a whole, I bet. So, like I was saying, as far as I can scratch my head and make sense of it, again, when I met a young lady that I'm referring to, I was just in the pocket of positioning myself to seek out, that divine union. Like I'm seeking a wife, like a lifetime partner and an eternal sacred couple, someone to cultivate a family with, just all that I believe God has for me in terms of when a man and a woman connect on that level. So at that time, the one I'm referring to, we hit it off, and everything was just green. To me, I didn't really think of it too much. But, once to skip a few happened, and what I apparently learned along those lines as far as what potentially I was there to serve in the transient aspect of things, but it ended up being was that she apparently was still more used to or wanted someone to kind of, throw money at her, and this ain't nothing to, poop on her or anything like that. But there were certain things that I didn't know that apparently she was getting from other fellas that she was exploring the field too. But it's just apparently I offered a more or a different layer to what she was going through or what she was dealing with. So again, I don't know. Maybe it's just I'm just serving as a potential challenge or a hurdle or something like that. But again, looking at it like me, all my mind was on was just, okay, as long as you present yourself, you mean what you say, then it's game time. That certain things get laid on the ground up front, and that's what it was. So when something is then say it hits the table, that was one of our first say like quote unquote head busts. Is just like there was a miscommunication. But
let me ask you this: if you when you guys butted heads, what came up in you where you said to yourself, man, this is something I really need to work on? And please keep in mind the relationship brought this about. Not her, but you. Like, what came up in you, in your consciousness, go, wow, I didn't handle that well. Wow, I dealt with that quite poorly. I need to work on this aspect. What came up?
Honestly, the only thing that came up was just me being apparently, I guess, more willing to use my words than I feel like are necessary. But even that relationship, I feel like I had already kind of graduated from that chapter where you be as present and as full and as flexible to a certain extent. But once you come across an internal space where you feel like what you're being asked to do is compromise your own integrity, I've already solidified that chapter, and that's a no.
Right. So,
but
that's not what I'm asking. That's not what I'm asking. I'm asking about self-observation. See, how an exorcism works. You got to name the demon in order to expel the demon. You got to get its name.
I got you a big one on that one though. But this goes back to me just being me, right?
Yes.
That demon is called Fantastic Voyage. For me.
Okay, talk to me.
All right, so like that's why once I saw that, I've already positioned myself to the personage as well as the energy where it's like, okay, but I'm with that. So it's like that's just I'm going to carry on. Like, I don't feel like I handled it wrong by being direct, upfront, sincere, present, and through to say like, if that's what we're dealing with, Fantastic Voyage, then I say so be it. It's just that's a whole different level of protocol, and the whole that's where the whole button heads or anything like that is just I'm not going. Once I get once the toll is paid,
I get you. I get you. Hey,
I don't feel bad about handling that way of love.
No, Nazareth, we got to push forward now. Hey, listen. Hey, I love you, brother. Listen, he brought Atlanta, Georgia in the building. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me. Listen, as a relationship exorcist, I don't get all the demons out. Sometimes I got to go back to the relationship authority and maybe get my certificate or something, because he just wouldn't let it out. But it's cool. When we come forward, we're going to talk to some sisters. Maybe they will be more open to share why we met in the first place.
The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings will disappear. You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
You're listening to Take Trip, where we play all the best classic water-wasting hits like watering your lawn during the hottest time of the day and leaky faucets. They're tunes from another time, because now that we face a hotter, drier future, every drop counts. Despite an extremely wet winter, keep using less water, fixing leaks, and reusing indoor water for your garden. Visit SaveOurWater.com for more ways to conserve. Up next, brushing your teeth with the water on. K-Trip.
If you're a business owner or lead a nonprofit that has between 26 and 49 employees and you paid COVID sick leave in 2021 or 22, you may qualify for reimbursement through a state grant program administered by the California Office of the Small Business Advocate. Learn more at covidpaidsick.com.
Some people won't give you the real talk on drugs, but it's time we know the facts. Fentanyl is killing people. It's a powerful opioid, often made illegally and commonly mixed with illicit drugs. It can even be pressed into counterfeit pills that resemble prescription medications. Just 2 milligrams, about the size of a few grains of sand, can potentially be lethal. This isn't an ad to scare you, but it is an ad to make you think twice. Get the facts. Go to realdealonfentanyl.com. This message is brought to you by the Ad Council.
For adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy, now there's Skyrizi, Risankizumab Rizza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months, and Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Nothing in me go hand in hand. Nothing on my skin, that's my new plan. Nothing is everything.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, you could achieve 90% clear skin. Ask your doctor about the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis and visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
We've got a lot to talk about.
I'm Reverend Gerald, the life coach. Is someone you love struggling with addiction and mental illness? Is improving your family's health important? Want to leave a legacy that your family can grow? Are you ready to enhance your perception of life experiences? Then wake up weekends at 7 a.m. with Urban Family Focus and get the wisdom, opportunity, resources, and motivation to live your best life. Join the conversation on Urban Family Focus Saturday and Sunday at 7 a.m.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black. You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
That's what we are going to share together in this. There is perception of sorrow. Let's take that. My son, my brother, my father dies. What takes place generally is I escape from it. Because I can't face this sense of tremendous danger, of loneliness, of despair. So I escape. Escape in ideology, in concepts, in dozen ways. Now, to perceive the escape, just to perceive, not check it, not control it, not say I mustn't perceive, just to be aware, choiceless again, to aware that you are escaping. Then the escape stops. The momentum of escape is a wastage of energy. You've stopped that energy. Not you have stopped. Perception has ended the wastage. Therefore, you have more energy. There is more energy. Then, when there is no escape, then you are faced with the fact of what is. That is, you have lost somebody. Death, loneliness, despair. That is exactly what is. There, again, the perception of what is.
I think I see the direction you're taking. What you want to say is that when I perceive that you are sorrowful, because I don't perceive sorrow, it doesn't exist by itself. So when I perceive that you are sorrowful, what I perceive is that you have been separated. And this is a source of sorrow, because now your father is dead and you are separated. And in perceiving that sorrow is associated with separation, am I not perceiving that joy is associated with...
No, sir, not yet. The fact is I've lost somebody. That's a fact. Burned, gone. And it is something gone, finally gone. And I feel tremendously lonely. That's a fact. Lonely, without any sense of relationship, without a sense of any security. I'm completely at the end.
Many people speak of this as saying, I am empty now.
Yes, empty. There is an awareness of this emptiness, of this loneliness, of this despair. I say, when you don't escape, you conserve the energy. Now, there is this conservation.
When you don't escape, there is a conservation of the energy you would be using to escape. And we listen to our brother Nazarene. I said, Nazarene, what show up in you? Nothing. Basically nothing. Sometimes there's an escape. Every one of us is flawed and broken. And these relationships are designed to give us something about us, give us an awareness, a deeper awareness about us. And many of us come in with this ideation that we're somehow better than or more evolved than. And listen, you can't date somebody you're more evolved than. You can't date someone who's less evolved than you. It's impossible. You get what you are every single time. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear it. I know a lot of people don't agree. But this is the nature of relationship. Research has shown that healthy relationships can promote feelings of happiness, security, and self-esteem, while unhealthy relationships can lead to stress, anxiety, and depression. True or false, our attachment styles, communication patterns, and conflict resolution strategies are often shaped by our experiences in intimate relationships and can have a lasting impact on our emotional and psychological health. But here's the problem. You got to get into one in order for those attachment styles, communication patterns, conflict resolution strategies. You got to get into a relationship in order to see the flaws in those patterns. Agree or disagree? Spiritually speaking, intimate relationships can provide a sense of connection and purpose that goes beyond the individual itself. I'm talking about the individual self, just me, right? Spirituality, right? The spiritual relationship, the conscious relationship, not the transactional one. Do you understand? Relationship is designed to give you an experiment an experience that goes beyond the individual ego. That's what relationship is designed to do. It's supposed to expand your consciousness beyond your sense of self. But you have to be brave and bold and courageous enough to say, guess what? I'm not afraid to look in. I'm not afraid to lean in to me. True or false? Many spiritual traditions view relationships as a means of connecting with a higher power or universal consciousness as a way of cultivating compassion and empathy and love. In other words, your relationship can be a vehicle for apotheosis. The word apotheosis, Greek, Latin, apotheosis, right? To be elevated to God consciousness, apotheosis, to be raised up to the consciousness of God. So relationship has that ability to raise our consciousness to such a level that it is at one with God. But for most people, all our relationships contain are fragments of disappointments, broken communication styles, limited attachment styles, poor conflict resolution. That's why is it frustrating? Am I the only one that's frustrated that this is the reality for 99.999% of people? Why are we here? If I'm telling you that spiritually speaking, the world traditions from all over the world says, guess what? Relationships can connect you to a higher power or universal consciousness as a way of cultivating compassion, empathy, and love. So the world's religions have already conceded that fact, right? So if that's the case, right, relationship is a conduit to coming into oneness with God. Not, let's go to Dave and Buster's. Well, we already been there. Let's go to the movies and see The Flash. Well, the Netflix and chill. We don't do nothing no more. That is the lowest level of relating. Dr. David R. Hawking called that level of relating immature love. What is immature love? Immature love or romance is when you fear losing someone that you perceive. Listen, are y'all listening to that? You fear losing someone or something that you perceive the other one fulfills for you. So if your partner gives you something, if your partner loves on you in a certain way, and you have this overriding fear that something better may come along and he or she may leave you. Right? That's immature love. Right? Immature love is perceived as something that can be won, like I won it. I won the race. That can be won, gained, lost, or taken away from you. So there's an underlining fear about love. It can ultimately manifest in the form of jealousy, divorce, or a breakup. Many people are relating at a very low level of consciousness. Are y'all with me tonight? Let's get busy. Let's get busy. We got sisters on the line. We got my brother, Heru Ali. Let's get busy. Who's been on the longest? Atala, Houston, Texas. Get in here.
Man, I was hoping you weren't going to call me. What's going on?
You know I'm in here cooking.
Listen, all right, I'm going to say my piece and I'm going to say it quick. So, your question, why did we meet in the first place, right?
Yes.
I mean, I can only speak to my most recent situation, and I feel like the whole point of me meeting this person was to make me feel, because I was completely numb before that. And that's just true.
So,
like, I think
are you being vulnerable? Are you being vulnerable? Are you opening up a little more? Or are you still behind your little turtle shell?
No, I'm definitely having to open up. And I think initially I took it as like, I feel like I'm doing too much. You know, you have all these like normal excuses that you want to make. But if I'm being completely honest, I mean, I feel like in previous situations, relationships are so much easier, or at least they seemed easier, when I didn't allow myself to be completely conscious and present.
So can we push this a little further?
Sure.
People believe that relationships are supposed to be easy. Do you?
I did.
No, seriously. Like, people really believe, like, yo, we're not supposed to be having no difficulties. We're not supposed to be tripping. It's supposed to be all good. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But,
no, I definitely did. I mean, yeah, for sure.
But, okay, let's do it this way. If Carl Jung is correct, and he says most people will do absolutely anything. People will do absolutely anything to no matter how absurd, to avoid looking at themselves. So if you got people that are like that in a relationship, can somebody help me understand, how is the relationship going to be easy? Talk to me.
It's not. It's not. It's going to be constant turmoil. I mean, even if you have one person who's willing to look at themselves and another who's not, it doesn't necessarily match. I mean, so you're still going to have a lesson that'll be learned in the end. So.
Could you believe that if, say, okay, I'm willing to look at myself. I'm ready to look at myself. It's been a long time since I caught a glimpse of myself. So here I am. I see my foot. I see my ankle. There I am. So what people tend to do is they want to look at bits and pieces of self.
Yes.
And then label that as the complete act of looking at themselves. Do you understand? This is less dark than the heart area. I'm going to look over here at the foot area. And they'll look at the foot darkness and be like, okay, I've been working, with my shadow. But the reality of it is you got to jump all the way in, unabashedly. And most people won't do that. And if they don't do that, how do they expect a relationship to be smooth sailing?
It won't. You're going to have rough waters, like, all the time. I mean, I don't know. As somebody who is just now kind of getting into this whole idea, like, it's completely new to me. I was trying to do the whole, put your little toes in the pool kind of thing. That didn't work.
That ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work.
Yeah, that was not the business.
Stay with me. I'll tell her when we come forward, I'm going to jump back in there on Houston, Texas time.
Gave you all my precious love and anything you wanted from me. You didn't hear me calling out, calling for your warm affection. After all this time, you can't deny what I'm feeling. And I stood right by your side. Went through all the hurt and pain, and you turned and walked
He's on fire tonight. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Julius White. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network.
I'm very proud of my son.
That's all President Biden said in response to shouted questions from reporters ahead of a meeting on artificial intelligence in San Francisco. The comment comes as Hunter Biden has struck a deal with federal prosecutors to plead guilty to 2 tax misdemeanors and to resolve a felony gun charge. As part of the agreement, the Justice Department has agreed to recommend a sentence of probation. Meantime, the New York Times reports industry leaders warned OceanGate about potential issues with its Titanic expeditions. The newspaper obtained a letter from 2018 that warned OceanGate its experimental unconventional approach with its vessel could lead to catastrophic outcomes. One of the company's submersibles has been missing since Sunday with 5 people on board. And the people who guaranteed Congressman George Santos' $500,000 bond in his criminal fraud case will have their identities revealed. I'm Julius White on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Need an accident attorney by your side? All you got to do is call the Accident Guys.
Injured in a car accident or at work? The Accident Guys can come to you almost anywhere, so you don't have to come to us. Se habla español.
Boldly go where no man has gone before.
Boldly taking talk radio where it has never gone before. New vistas, new voices, new views, new visions, new victories. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we're taking public media black.
Your health is important, so keep yourself and your family covered with Medi-Cal. Medi-Cal renewals will be happening soon, so if you have Medi-Cal, make sure you don't miss any important renewal information. If you've moved in the last 3 years, check and update your mailing address, email address, and phone number. Learn more at keepmedicalcoverage.org. That's keepmedicalcoverage.org. Paid for by the California Department of Healthcare Services.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Is this tree good for climbing? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Meet Joe A, Joe B, and Joe C.
What's up?
3 everyday Joes perfecting their banking with Chase. Joe A is locking his lost debit card with the Chase mobile app. Joe B is cruising toward his new ride with AutoSave. And Joe C's Chase banker is helping him budget to go back to school. Tools that help protect. Support for what's next. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Messaging and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC.
Hey LA, I'm Pastor Xavier Thompson inviting you to join us for a special night of compassion and community rally for Dr. Mark Ridley Thomas at the Southern Missionary Baptist Church, 4678 West Adams Boulevard in the city of Los Angeles, Friday, June the 23rd, 7 p.m. This will be a time for the community to undergird Dr. Mark Ridley Thomas and his family as we approach the upcoming court hearing, which will determine whether or not he gets a new trial. We are urging all constituents, supporters, partners, friends, and well-wishers, those who seek justice for this courageous champion of our community, to join us. Friday, June the 23rd, 7 o'clock p.m., the Southern Missionary Baptist Church, 4678 West Adams Boulevard. Let's encourage Dr. Mark Ridley Thomas with our presence, participation, and our prayers. See you there.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking. Now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency on earth, and if you owe back taxes, the news isn't good. The IRS is raising the interest rate it charges on unpaid taxes, and further rate hikes are expected. Most people don't know it, but the IRS adds interest charges on your tax debt daily. So if you owe the IRS today, you will owe even more tomorrow, and it doesn't stop until you get right with the IRS. The good news is, getting right can start with one phone call to Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax relief firm. Optima's tax professionals specialize in the Fresh Start Initiative, a powerful IRS program that can save you thousands if you qualify. In fact, the experts at Optima Tax have resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients. Call now for a free consultation.
Call 800-919-9077. 800-919-9077. 800-919-9077.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio that's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to the voice of reason with Joe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
It was love at first sight. I know from the way she looked at me. Her eyes said it all. Long days and nights we spent till she dropped the bomb on me. When she said that she was unhappily married with children, and I wish I never met her at all. Even though I love her so, but she got love for me. But she still belongs to someone else.
We're trying to find out, why have human beings who have so evolved technologically to such enormous extent, why haven't they got this simple factor of, which is so intelligent, having to have compassion? Why?
Perhaps they're too busy.
Don't answer it. Find out why you, as a human being, living on this earth, which is meant for all human beings to live happily, why haven't you compassion? You, not somebody else. Madam, that's too quick an answer. You haven't gone into it. You haven't even investigated. You haven't even looked for a couple of seconds at yourself and asked yourself why you haven't got compassion. You're answering, throwing out words that may be your defense. Why have you, with all your experience, all your knowledge, with all the civilization that you have behind you, of which you are the result, why?
Krishnamurti don't be playing with them people, man. That was listen, the man died in 1986. He said, why is your civilization more technologically advanced than your psychological evolution? Your spiritual evolution is lagging way behind. Do you know how many fugazi $4.50 bill people I meet on a regular in every walk of life? He's asking, why aren't you compassionate? Well, because we're greedy. You haven't even looked into yourself yet. Do you understand? He's saying the only way to answer that, he said, I can't answer it. This is why you hear him say in many speeches, the speaker is unimportant. The speaker doesn't matter. He's telling you, don't look to me for this. He said, you go in and figure out why we met in the first place. Do you see? That's why we did this topic tonight. So many people don't even know why they're in the relationship that they're in currently. He said, what are you here for? And what he's really saying is, Only you can answer that, and that answer is pre-existing in you now. You're just scared to look for it. Andy?
I'm not going to speak for myself. Well, actually, I am. At one point in my life, I just wanted to get some. And that was the reason why I was in a relationship.
There you go. There you go.
You know, there's this joke growing up that,
The get some days was cool, man. It was a really cool time when it was just to get some. No, I'm sorry. I digress. Go ahead.
The ladies will fake something sexually in order to get a relationship, while the fellas, we would fake the relationship to, get the stuff.
Absolutely. Brother, Andy, thank you, brother. Let's get Attila from Houston, Texas back in here. Attila, bring Houston back in here. Did Krishnamurti frame it up right? Did he frame it up right for you?
Absolutely. I mean, I want to add to that, too. Part of, I think, the reason why compassion leaves is because regret takes over, right? So even the song you played, right, to say you wish you never met someone, I mean, to me, that's like saying I wish I never had to learn this lesson. But to me, your lessons are there whether you want them to be or not. The manner in which you learn them is up to you, I suppose, or maybe not.
But you're right. You're right with me right now. If you, as a young person in society today, you look out at the landscape of dating opportunities and high-value men and low-value men and high-value women and low-value, you look at all of, the talking points that are out there right now. Are any of them dialed into the level of psychological mastery that Krishnamurti was trying to pull out of people, that he said was inherent in everybody? What are your thoughts?
Absolutely not. I mean, that's part of the reason why I try to steer away from those types of things. I don't mind listening to them simply because I think it's good to know what people are absorbing in their spirits. But in regard to does that line up with what Krishnamurti is saying? Absolutely not. I mean, I think most people would be like, that's too much work. I don't want to do that. Especially if you hit a nerve. And, again, people dealing with trauma and all of that, they haven't even touched. They don't even want to go near that. So, it would just kind of be like a cinch to them. Like, in a sense, to me, that's a blessing. Because if you are someone that's on the path of higher evolution, right, then you are going to be able to steer clear of, as we say, the Decepticons out there.
The Decepticons. I love it. Attila from Houston, Texas. You came, you saw, and you conquered. You brought your city in the building. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. The voice of reason is on fire. But listen, I got another sister who gots to cook. She gots to cook. She's probably cooking right now. Denver, Colorado is only in the building because of Cali Soul. Cali, get in here.
I love you because I've been on this phone for an hour and 12 minutes and 4 seconds.
I love you too, child. I love you too, sweetheart. I love you now.
Now, look here. First of all, that coaching session that you took me through was like what we call in my circle fire therapy. You didn't play. You just got in there, you sliced. I was like, okay. And then I got my book, and I'm like, the title alone is fire therapy. It's done. I really don't need to read the book, but I'm still going to do it because that's my work. Anyhow, on tonight, why are we here?
Why did we
get
meet
this work?
Why did we meet in the first place is tonight's topic.
Why did we meet in the first place? To get this work. And whatever shows up is you can't see yourself by yourself. You have to have another person in order to see yourself. So whatever pops up, and usually it ain't going to pop up until after the honeymoon phase, right? Because the honeymoon phase, we tap dancing and salt shoeing.
Stay with me. Callie, I need you to stay with me. I got to move forward real quick, but don't go nowhere because you're cooking right now. Please, stay with me. Callie Soul, Denver, Colorado.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
Despite pushback from franchise owners, the Assembly passes Fast Food Workers Bill. Maisha Cairo here with your K-Black Minute News, brought to you by CaliforniaBlackMedia.org. Assembly Bill 1228, known as the Fast Food Franchisor Responsibility Act, authored by Assemblymember Chris Holden, was passed off the Assembly floor with 42 votes in favor of the legislation, while 22 members of the Assembly voted against the bill. Some reasons Holden and supporters of this bill find it necessary is due to the reported wage theft of fast food workers, claims of violence at work, sexual harassment and assault claims, denied sick days, intense heat, poor workplace safety practices, as well as claims of retaliation for speaking out. Holden was reported saying, quote, "This does not imply that all fast food franchises mistreat their workers. It's clear that we must ensure our fast food workers are able to thrive in their workplace and their communities," end quote.
Did you know addiction to drugs like meth or cocaine is a disease and not a choice? But getting help is. If you have stimulant use disorder, you, your family, and friends may have a lot of questions, including where to start. Choose Change California can help. Make a change today and find a proven treatment option for you at choosechangeca.org.
KBLA, keep your utility bills low this summer while making your home the cool place to be. LADWP can help you save hundreds with air conditioner and thermostat rebates, plus free energy-efficient home upgrades and simple tips to help you beat the heat and save money. Visit ladwp.com/cool-LA.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SavedByTheSkin.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SavedByTheSkin.org. It could save your life. SavedByTheSkin.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, I'm Ray Richardson, your sports connection here at KBLA Talk 1580. Join me and my co-host Neil Scarborough every Saturday night at 7 for Out of Bounds, the show that brings some flavor to the world of sports for 60 minutes. We take you beyond the scores and press conferences. We give you our point of view, the way black folks see what's going down. You can join the conversation and give us your analysis at 1-800-920-1580. Out of Bounds every Saturday night at 7 on KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
You like the style, though?
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Gentlemen, my playlist has been on absolute fire all night long. Jeez. That's Marcia right there. You know, I want you to stay. My playlist is my co-host, and it has been absolutely bonkers all night long. Let me get Callie Soul from Denver, Colorado back in the building. She was cooking before we came forward. Now that we've come full circle, I want to let her finish. Go ahead, sister.
All right. So like I was saying, we can't see ourselves without being in some sort of relationship. for it to mirror back to us. And always, not 9 times out of 10 and sometimes and all this, always whatever you want to project on somebody else, whatever I want to project on someone else, there are seeds of that within myself. So I don't need to be worried about what's going on outside of me. I only need to worry about what's going on inside of me. And if I want to project something out onto someone, then that's where my work begins.
Ooh. Your work begins in your projection onto someone. Ooh, that's big. Ooh.
Yeah.
But you got to be aware of that. You have to be self-aware. Oh,
but
I'm projecting.
Got to be aware.
Wow, that's big.
And a lot of times we're not aware that we're projecting because we've been taught, since we were kids to point the finger. But in the level of form, you can't point your finger. No matter how you turn your hand, you cannot point your finger at someone else without pointing back at yourself 3 times.
Right, at least 3 fingers is coming right back
at
to
least
you.
3, right? But that's what relationships are for, like with friendships, relationships, companionship. Like one of the brothers was saying in the chat, if it's a ship at the end of it, it's going to have high tide and low tide, and it's our job to navigate, those spaces with grace if we want to. You can navigate it with love or you can navigate it with fear. Fear runs and says it's somebody else's fault, but love leans into self and says, okay, I see that I'm trying to say that this person has an issue here. Well, where do I have an issue here?
Girl, you know you could have left a little bit of meat on the bone. You didn't have to lick that bone clean. You didn't have to.
Come on now, that's what I do. That's what I do.
Hey, Callie Soul, we appreciate you, sister girl. Thank you
Amen.
for bringing Denver, Colorado in the building. Now, as if we're not already at the end of the show. Anything could happen. Heru Ali, Battle Creek, Michigan. Get in here.
Peace and love to the family and nation. Honors everybody. Hey, listen, since we have limited time, what we not going to do.
What we not going to do. Come on, hear me.
What we not going to do is act like there are not levels to everything. Yes. There's levels to everything. In the military, that's why they have a ranking structure. Mm-hmm. Not just to put people in charge, but you have to achieve certain skills and demonstrate your competencies in those skills in order to lead men and women.
What we not going to do.
So what we not going to do is act like there's not a possibility that you could individually be more spiritually in tune than your partner. Because like attracts like. Yes. Listen. I could be the Dalai Lama, and he's a bad example.
Oh, God.
But the darkness in me attracts the darkness in you, right. But I have a higher spiritual understanding of how to possibly mitigate it or to exploit you.
Right, 100%.
Or to exploit you. So it's been my experience in the past. Listen, I surrendered and said, listen, I'm not trying to save nobody, but anybody, male or female, that I attract, that are searching for the truth, here's the information. You decide for yourself. So we absolutely can be on 2 spiritual different levels and be compatible or not.
Well, I love it, Heru. Hey, Heru, I love it, man. I'm going to give you my final thought as I wrap this
Absolutely.
Thing. But I love
peace and love to the family nations. Please stay safe.
I love it,
and peace out to the families of nations that are going through these weather anomalies.
Oh, yeah.
I love y'all. Please stay safe. Everybody prepare because it's just getting started. Peace and love to the family nations. I'm out.
Heru Ali, Battle Creek, Michigan, legendary caller. Let's do it this way, though. What we need to realize is we can use our relationship as a tool for self-discovery. That's why we're here. That's why we met. You may not know that, It might be unconscious to you, but we met and we connected so we can explore ourselves deeply, more deeply, right? Because many people are totally self-unaware, and it's the relationship that is the vehicle that allows you to actually tap in. We can use our relationships as a tool for self-discovery and healing by approaching them with a mindset of curiosity, openness, and self-reflection. Some effective strategies for identifying and addressing our own inner demons in the context of our relationships include practicing self-awareness, i.e. mindfulness, developing a greater awareness of our own thoughts and feelings and behaviors can help us to identify patterns and triggers that may be contributing to our inner demons. This can involve practices such as mindfulness, meditation, and or journaling. Then you have communicating openly and honestly. This is why you're there. I know Netflix and chill and the new Flash movie is out. I know. But this is really why you're there. All right? Communicating openly and honestly. Many of us don't even know the practice of nonviolent communication, but we should. We should. We should also get comfortable seeking professional support. Dr. Jashana Johnson, Dr. Sunshine, all of them. Shalonda Crawford, get them in here. Right? And I have a whole ton of friends that are clinicians. Bring them in. Learn how to practice self-empathy. Because you're going to be coming up in these relationships. You are going to be coming up. From the depths of your consciousness, you're going to be rising to the surface. And you need to know how to love on yourself when that happens. Right? You need to cultivate compassion and empathy, not just for yourself, but for your partner as well. And overall, you need to understand using our relationships as a tool for self-discovery and healing requires a willingness to be vulnerable, open, and reflective, as well as a commitment to our own personal growth and transformation. We gotta see it as a self machine, one that transforms the self from what I was attached to, what I was broken by. You have to be able to use relationships to transform you. That's what they're here for. But I'm excited. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a new show coming up. It's a new show, RSVP with Jill Monroe. It sounds very classy, very, my pinky is up. It sounds like we're about to get the backstage pass on a lot of things crackling. I love it. New show on deck, RSVP with Jill Monroe. As is commonplace, I'll start the conversation. You finish it. The voice of reason will be back in here tomorrow with another slapper. Deuces!
Without it, there's no love. It's true no matter what you try. There can be no us unless we find